Hi, welcome back first grade. Today we're going to be starting a new project. It's going to be a lot about patterns, color, shapes, and also animals. So today we're going to be working on our patterns. So for this project, we're going to be talking a lot about patterns. Patterns are everywhere. Patterns could be floor tiles. Patterns could be wallpaper. Patterns could be the way that the tables are set up in this room. Patterns can be lines, patterns can be shapes. They can also be colors or even numbers. Perhaps anything could really be a pattern. Line is a connection between 2 points. So a line is anything that connects 2 points. So it could be a vertical line, a horizontal line, diagonal line. There are so many different lines, and it's totally possible that you could create your own line. Here are some of my favorite. Here are some shapes. These are some of the most basic shapes, but you could absolutely create your own. A shape is kind of like a room. So imagine these lines that you see here as walls. You could have a square room, you could have a triangle room, but you're surrounded by walls. If there's a wall missing, then you're technically not inside the house. Technically, you're outside because there's no wall around you. There are many different shapes, but there is something also called an open shape. An open shape is kind of like a shape, but there is a hole. You can travel through it. If you think of the lines as walls, then this isn't a perfect room because there's a gaping hole. All right, let's test your knowledge. Is the given shape that you see here open or closed? A, open, or B, closed? The answer is closed, because if we imagine these lines as walls, then it would be a closed room. So this would be a closed shape. All right, now how about this one? Is this shape open or closed? This shape is open, because if we imagined it as a room, then one of our walls is missing, so it's almost like an open room. Color is very fascinating. Our eyes are built to absorb colors. So when light hits off an object, it bounces into our eyes, and our eyes are made to decode those lights, and then it tells our brain what colors we are looking at. Today you're going to need a few different things. You're going to need a pencil, and then you're also going to need this worksheet. You're also going to need those crayons and markers that are already in the bin on your table. Remember, if you need to sharpen your pencil, you want to sharpen over the cup, and then also you may need to share with the people at your table, so just please ask for a turn if you haven't already, and go ahead and sharpen our pencils, please. Once you're done with the sharpen and eraser, go ahead and add the lid back onto the cup and then put it back into the bin so that someone else can use it. Let's go ahead and get started on our worksheet. Make sure you have that in front of you, and then also your pencil. So the very first thing that it asks of us is to write our name. So I'm gonna go ahead and write Mr. Boatfield because that is my name. But if you have your own special name, go ahead and put that, please. And then it also asks for a special class code. CC means class code. I will give you that class code now. So now that we have our class code, let's get started on what the worksheet's gonna ask from us. I need you to follow along with my directions, and you also need to write down anything that I write down. So if I start writing something on my worksheet, I need you to write it on yours as well. So since we're talking about patterns, we're gonna do a couple different patterns in these first two boxes. So find this very top box. It has two parts. So here's the first part, here's the second. In that very first part, we're gonna do some zigzag lines. So watch me first. I'm gonna do 2 zigzag lines. You need at least 2 zigzag lines. You can do one on top of the other. Go ahead and draw 2 zigzag lines. All right, in the next box, we're going to do some wavy lines. Go ahead and do some Rolling hill wavy lines. Awesome. So these patterns, these are called AA patterns. So I'm gonna write AA. So 2 A's and then the word pattern. P-A-T-T-E-R-N. And the reason that we call them AA patterns is it's kind of like they repeat twice. So you could think of the zigzag line as the letter A. Well, we repeated it twice, so we're gonna think of it as AA. Same thing with the wavy line. If we pretended the wavy line was the letter A, then we repeated it twice, AA. Let's move on to this next block here. So it's gonna get a little bit tricky. So the first line that I wanna do over here is gonna be the castle line. You wanna leave a little bit of room because we're also going to draw another line underneath it. And that next line is going to be the ocean line. So we have the castle line, and then we also have the ocean line. Go ahead and draw those two lines for me. Now let's do another one. This one's gonna be very different. We could also do a swirl. Some of you like to call it cinnamon roll, that's okay. Swirl, circle, swirl, circle, swirl, circle. So go ahead and do that pattern. Swirl, circle, swirl, circle. And notice that I didn't have enough room to fit all of it the right way, and that's okay. So these patterns are a little bit different because they're not like the AA patterns because we changed the line. If we thought of the castle line as the letter A, then we can think of the wavy like the ocean line as B. So it's an AB pattern. I'm gonna write AB. Same thing with the swirls. Swirl, circle, swirl, circle, swirl, circle. A, B, A, B, A, B. So I almost forgot, we need to write pattern. P-A-T-T-E-R-N. So we have two different types of AB patterns. Now, the next thing that we need to do is we're gonna make an A-B-B-A pattern. So this gets really complicated. Watch me first. I'm gonna do zigzag line first. There we go. And then I might do horizontal line. And then this time I'm gonna repeat it. So I'm gonna do 2 horizontal lines. And then also a zigzag. So if the zigzag is A, then the horizontal line must be B. I hope you said B. So if we think of it as letters, it's A, B, B, A. So let's write that. The pattern that we're making is A, B, B, A. And then let's also write pattern, P-A-T-T-E-R-N. Let's make up one more. I'm gonna do this one with you. So it could be square, triangle, triangle, square, square, triangle, triangle, square. So if we thought of the square as A, then the triangle must be B. So it would go A, B, B, A, A, B, B, A. And then we just imagine that it continues on forever. Now, down here, this is where you get to make up your own pattern. It can be any one of these patterns. Maybe you can try 2. I want you to try 2 of your own patterns right down here. So here's what I came up with. I came up with 4 diagonal lines, 1 rectangle, 1 circle, 4 diagonal lines, and it repeated again underneath. I came up with some loop-de-loops, then a dotted line, and then loop-de-loop again. So I have my marker box out. I can use any color marker, and I can also switch markers and use more than one. And I'm gonna go over my pencil lines with the marker. So I went ahead and I quickly went over all of my lines with different colors of the marker. Now I can use my crayon to color in, but I want you to think about color patterns, because remember, patterns can be shapes, they can be numbers, they can also be colors. When you choose your colors, make sure you go hard and waxy. So I'm pressing hard on the crayon. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So over here, I'm gonna go really softly. Now you can kind of see the color, but if I go hard and waxy and I really push on the crayon, you can see that orange so much better. So make sure you press hard on the crayon. Now I want you to be creative with this project, but I also want you to think about maybe including some color patterns too when you get to the crayon. So I did orange, pink, orange for one of my first sets of AA patterns, but over here I tried to mix it up a little bit. I did purple, and then my marker was yellow, and then I added green, yellow, purple. You can do this however you would like. You can choose whatever pattern you want for the last one, and you can choose whatever color you would like for any of them. You can use your crayons to color, your markers to draw. Once you are done, you can either make some more patterns on the back, or you can choose one of the free stations today.